Hey there and welcome to Dark Blue Nutrition. Today we are going to be answering some subscriber questions from you guys and I'm so excited to get into it. If you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. My name is Katie. I'm a dietitian and personal trainer and it is my passion to help you ditch diets and have a peaceful relationship with both food and fitness. So let's get into it. Our question today is from Lindsay. Thank you so much for submitting your question and definitely don't be shy. Leave me your nutrition and fitness questions in the comment section below and I will answer them in a future video. Her question is, I'm currently working with a nutritionist/dietitian due to over-exercising and a bad relationship with food. She keeps telling me I have to eat within an hour of waking up even if I'm not hungry. This is supposed to get my metabolism going and get my current goals to build muscle and lose weight. She thinks I should be doing 30 minutes of cardio 5 days a week with 2 full body strengths a week. I used to be a cardio bunny and I feel her wanting me to do cardio is counterproductive. What's your thoughts on all this cardio? I feel I should do more strength and not full body workouts. Not my fave. Okay, so thanks again, Lindsay, for submitting your question. These are two wonderful questions. Your first question was about breakfast and whether or not you should be eating first thing in the morning. So there is some validity in what your dietitian is telling you. She's telling you that if you eat first thing in the morning, then your metabolism starts up early, first thing, and then it can be humming smoothly throughout the day. And there is so much truth to that. But here's the thing, if you're not hungry first thing in the morning and you're just not the type of person that eats right when you get up, that's okay. I think we're all a little bit different and we're all going to find times to eat that works for us the most. So I typically eat within about 30 minutes of waking up, 30 minutes to an hour of waking up. And that's because I actually naturally feel hungry that early in the morning. But my significant other and fiance, Glenn, he doesn't eat first thing in the morning. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. And that's just because naturally he's not really a morning eater. And that's okay. There's really nothing wrong with that. I think it can help your metabolism, but it's not going to make or break your metabolism. But just make sure to eat within 2 hours of waking up, just so that you're not hindering your hunger throughout the day. Because I think the problem that we can get into is that we don't feel hungry first thing in the morning, and then we go until 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon and we realize we haven't eaten and then we binge or overeat. And that's not something that you want to get in the habit of. Now, I don't want to put you in this box because I know you said you're not really a morning eater and you don't really feel hungry, but within about 2 hours of waking up, I would try to have something super small. It doesn't have to be this giant breakfast. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be a protein bar. It can be a banana. It can be peanut butter toast. Really anything you want it to be. Don't put yourself in a box where you feel like you have to have some elaborate meal. Just have something, and then typically your stomach and your metabolism kind of gets used to having something in the morning, even if it's small. So that's my biggest advice for breakfast is yes, you should have something probably within 2 to 3 hours of waking up, just for your sanity and for the sake of getting your body ready for the day and not putting off eating until too far in the day, which can cause backlash binging. You want to have something. At the same time, don't feel this enormous pressure to have to eat something when you're just absolutely not feeling it. Okay, we have to scoot for the sake of my sanity because it is far too bright outside. It's a beautiful day, but it is so bright. So I'm going to spare any more glaring at the camera. I'm sure that your dietitian has the best of intentions when telling you this advice. So don't get me wrong. I don't think she's wrong. I don't think she's totally off for this, but since you mentioned that you have come from a background of an unhealthy relationship with food and with fitness, I think that the biggest thing that you need to take into account and that your dietitian should take into account as well is that food rules probably are not going to be super productive. So anything that's a very solid, rigid rule, like you have to eat within an hour of waking up or else, that's not really that helpful for you. Do what works for you. And I know it takes time. It takes time to adjust to a new schedule. So try out having a small snack and see how it works and kind of get a vibe for how soon you like to eat after you wake up. Okay, so the next part of your question is about cardio and strength training and how much you should have of both. So first of all, I don't know if your dietitian is a personal trainer as well. We can give general exercise advice, but if they're not a personal trainer, then they probably shouldn't be in charge of your specific exercise schedule. So if you have a dietitian who's also a personal trainer like I am, then they can be at liberty to give the advice, but that's just my 2 cents. Scope of practice is so important, and we talk about this in so many different ways on this channel, but scope of practice is important, so make sure you're going to the right specialist for the right thing. Second off, I just want to say that it's wonderful that you're getting 5 days of cardio and 2 days of strength. That just shows me that you're a very dedicated person and you're really tuning into your goals and really determined to reach those goals. With that, I just want to note the fact that you mentioned that you have a history of over-exercising, and I think that if you're working out 7 days a week, because you mentioned 5 days of cardio, 2 days of strength, then you want to consider incorporating a rest day or two in there, because your body does need time to refuel and recharge. Now, you can have active rest days, but I still encourage you to have at least one day where you're just doing a very minimal exercise so your body can really heal, because to grow muscle, you need to let your body rest. It's so important. You can't do without it. Now, to address the part that you mentioned about whether or not you're doing too much cardio, I would have to say that it kind of depends on your goals. Now, if you are someone who is really focused on cardio related goals like a marathon or doing something along those lines, then these may be appropriate guidelines for you. But if you're someone who has goals of building muscle, like you mentioned, I think that you should be doing a lot more strength and a lot less cardio. And you could do a mixture of both. It really depends on what you prefer. But since you mentioned A, you don't love cardio, and B, you feel like you're doing too much, and C, you want to grow muscle and that's your #1 goal, that to me feels like you should be doing more strength training. So I really advocate not only listening to your intuition when it comes with food, listening to your intuition when it comes to fitness as well. And that's what this whole channel is all about. So I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you're asking these types of questions. Now, if I were to recommend a kind of ratio of what you should be doing or what you could do, I would say something along the lines of 3 to 4 days of strength training and then a couple days of cardio per week. Now, you can do those on the same days. You can kind of do whatever you want. But if you're going all out on cardio 5 days a week and you feel like you're not reaching those goals, I definitely say up the strength training and lower the cardio. Maybe try 3 days of strength training and 2 days of cardio this week, and then you can have 2 active rest days and see how that works for you. That's just an example, and this is definitely not one-on-one advice. This is just kind of general rule of thumb and thinking off the top of my head of what I might recommend to my own clients if they were asking me the same question. So this is not to be mistaken for medical advice, but it is just my 2 cents. You also might want to incorporate some yoga in there on your active rest days, and that will just help you stretch out and be even more able to be present for the rest of your exercise that week. Thanks so much for asking this question, Lindsay. If you guys have any more questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I will leave some videos that you might like at the end of this video, so stay tuned until the very end and check out the links in the description box below. Thanks so much for hanging out for today's Q&A, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.